It's another Sunday, and you know what that means.
Nonsense Rumble!
That's right. For those of you unfamiliar, it's a pretty basic concept. We both pick. We've got a category that we share. We both pick someone in that category. We argue why our pick would win. Sometimes we pick the exact same creature, which is applicable today, and we look really stupid. Rick, what's the category?
Today we're picking a CR1 monster from D&D 5th edition.
Yes, I'm glad you specified that last part, because it's like, oh, if you pick like a creature from Pathfinder, the discussion will be quite annoying because stats are bollocks between the two games.
Yeah, at low level they're about the same. At high level they're massively different.
I've got a plus 15. What's your thing got? Plus 5.
Yeah. But the plus 15 is weaker than the one with the plus 5 because your enemies also have plus 15s.
But yes, that being said, CR1 monster, pretty, if you're not up to date on D&D, today's going to be pretty interesting because we've got solid, just straight up stats we can look at. So the arguments are going to be a bit more potentially clinical. With that said, Rick, a bit of behind the curtain. This recording flubbed last time, so I kind of already know what his honourable mention is. But Rick, for the sake of the audience, what's your honourable mention and why?
Yeah, my honourable mention is the Jackalweir because it's lower than CR1, but also the fact that it's strongest against party members, not necessarily against other monsters, because other monsters might have magical attacks that pierce the thing that makes it bullshit. Which is immunity to physical damage from things that are not silver.
I get you on that one. I totally do. Here's the thing is, I'll just straight up say it. I do remember last time we managed to get deep enough in this discussion for me to go, oh, so you didn't pick it because it can't fit in a category, meaning you're wrong.
Yeah. But also, like, I understood this as, like, CR1 or lower, but also... yeah, this is... I picked one that was CR1 in the end. So how about you? What was your honourable mention?
My honourable mention is the humble animated armour.
Ah, yes. It's a notoriously difficult thing to put down because it starts with AC 18.
AC 18, 33 hit points if you take the average. It's immune to poison and psychic. Probably not realistic damage types for a level 1 party.
Yeah, maybe poison. Like, you can buy poison. So if you want someone who wants to min-max damage at really low levels because they're feeling threatened, then yeah, getting some poison to put on a dagger is reasonably okay to have done.
This is true. Like, I gave one of our players once a constantly poisoned dagger because they really wanted to throw stuff. And I'm like, okay, Here's a thing you can throw.
Yeah, it's a poison dagger with returning.
To be fair, you kind of need that if you're doing a throwing build, because otherwise you're just throwing daggers and that's like, what, a D4?
Yeah, it's a D4 and you run out.
You do. But yeah, I like the animated armor. It's a tough bastard for CR1. I like it because of false appearance. It lets you really easily ambush people. I also like the caveat of anti-magic susceptibility. If you're a higher level and you have access to anti-magic tech, it completely nullifies this enemy, and that's a fun weakness.
Yeah, the entire enemy series as well, because there's like an animated sword and a helm horror, I believe.
Yeah, helmed horror is like CR5, I want to say. Might be 4.
Yeah, the idea of these is they're all different levels of animated something.
Yeah. I'm quite fond of the animated armor most of all because, yeah, it's... I mean, you got experience from this firsthand, Rick, where it's the perfect enemy to put in a mansion.
Yeah, it's a perfect haunted house thing without being straight up a horror movie enemy.
Yeah, and once you see one come to life, it immediately makes the party go, we need to check every fucking suit of armor.
Yeah, every suit of armor, I pull the head off.
But yeah, I think it deserves an honourable mention. I, however, don't think it dishes out enough damage, specifically against other CR1 creatures. So that's why I gave it honourable mention as opposed to just straight up my pick.
Yeah.
So that being said, Rick, let's get to the picks. I'll give you the honour of going first.
My pick today is the Brass Dragon Wormling.
Okay, is this CR1?
Yeah, this is CR1. And I picked this over any of the others because of not only does it have fire breath, which is a generically good thing to have, and immunity to fire, so it can't even get hit by the same thing. It also has sleep breath. So anything that's not immune to sleep, it can just be put to sleep on a bad roll, and then it just goes on to win.
Yeah, that's very mean. I assume both of these are regen abilities that come back on a 6.
Yeah, they're 5.
Really,
yes,
a 5?
Yeah, regen 5 to 6.
Oh,
so,
that's busted. Yeah, no, usually for the lower CR monsters, they only get the 6.
Yeah, they both go on cooldown when it uses one of them. But it has these 2 breath weapons to choose from. And this is what made me pick this over the other one that's the same CR, which I think is like a white dragon one.
I think I might be thinking, like, depending on the colour, depends on the CR, and some of these wormlings are like CR4.
Yeah. Like, you have the same age being way more powerful and dangerous. I think another part of it being so low is that because it's chaotic good, is less likely to be at odds with a traditional adventuring party.
Yeah, like, you can negotiate with a dragon as long as it's not black. Fuck, that sounds bad, but you know.
Well, by traditional law, yeah, black dragons are the ones that just want to kill everything.
And then red are almost as bad.
Yeah, red are almost as bad. They want to subjugate everything.
Yeah.
And normally the way that they subjugate things is by burning some of their subjects to make the other ones even more scared.
What fun, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's my pick for my CR1. What's your pick for CR1?
My pick for CR1 is something that, as a player race, is also pretty fun to have, and I might play one day. But for now, it's the Humble Bugbear.
The Bugbear, okay.
Yeah.
We've got a fight on our hands.
We do. Like, I haven't asked for stats and stuff yet, like specific stats, because that's kind of what the argument's actually for. But yeah, I've picked the Bugbear. The Bugbear is just, in general, good. Like, just straight up. I really like them as player characters because they get an extra 5-foot reach just because they've got really long arms.
Yes, yeah, they've got the Wookiee arms.
Yeah, they don't actually get that in their enemy stat block, or at least not the bog standard one you get in the monster manual, which is what I'm basing this on. They get the Brute Feat, which is a melee weapon deals 1 extra die of its damage when the Bugbear hits, including in the it's already included in the attack. That's what the bracket was for. They also get Surprise Attack. If the Bugbear surprises a creature, and this probably won't apply to our particular fight because it relies heavily on the Ivril, which, for those of you who don't know, we've got the Ivril in effect, and that is, if your argument starts with the word if, it's null and void.
Yeah, pretty much. So on this case, yeah, if they have a surprise round, the Bugbear would probably win. But yeah, the Bugbear doesn't have the surprise round. If the Bugbear had a Great Axe, then they'd be doing 2d12 instead of 2d8. No, they don't have a Great Axe. They've got what they come with in the stat block. It's like a Morning Star.
They've got a Morning Star, which does more than a Great Axe damage with its Brute Feat applied, because it does 2d8.
Yeah.
And it also gets a Javelin, which gives it ranged, which might be enough to outfox a Dragon's Breath attack, but it might not. Let's get into the brass tacks of things. Let's actually look at stats. Rick, first things first, AC. AC
is 16.
Okay, we're joint on AC. 16 for a Bugbear as well, because it wears armor and a shield. That's just included in the stat block. We'll take the average hit points as opposed to the dice. What's your average hit points?
16.
27.
Yeah, so you've got 5d8, and I've got 3d8.
Now, here's the one I'm actually interested in hearing. What's its speed?
30 feet on land, 15 burrowing, and 60 flying.
You see, 60 flying speed, that's effectively, unless you're in a cramped cave, which, let's be honest, first of all, it's the Ivril, and second of all, it's a fucking Bugbear. It's not likely to just be in a cramped cave. 60 feet is a lot. What's the range of its breath? Is it 15 or 30?
Bite is 5 foot. Breath is 20 foot line
20 foot
for
line.
Fire breath, and 15 foot cone for sleep breath.
And you see, and what's the save for the sleep?
Sleep is Constitution save, so I think the Bugbear's pretty good at that.
It's got a +1.
Only a +1?
Yeah, I'm just checking. Yeah, it's got nothing special. It doesn't say additional saves, so as far as I'm aware, it's got a proficiency bonus of 2, but it doesn't say any of its stats are proficient in saving throws. So
yeah, I think it's just its attacks.
So it's a +1. So what's the score?
It's a DC 11.
So it's a 50-50 on whether that hits, if we're being realistic.
Yeah. And the breath is a DC 11 dex save. It's slightly more likely to make the dex save.
Yeah, but only by a point. It's only got +2.
Yeah.
What's the damage on fire breath?
Fire breath is 4d6, so 14 average.
14 average, 7 on a save, because it's not a save or hit or fail, is it? It's hit or half.
Yeah. Half as much on a successful save. and there's no crit success and crit fails in standard rules.
I think this all boils down to here's the thing: is that flying speed I think is the actual killer because of the way D&D. We're going to use D&D rules. We're doing a D&D fucking discussion here for all intents and purposes. D&D rule says you can move, do whatever your action and bonus action is, and then finish your movement. So 60-foot flying. Let's say they start 30 feet away, just for argument's sake. It could fly 20 feet in, use its fire breath and its sleep breath, and then fly 30 feet back again.
Yes. I think that's the killer. And the other one is, the bugbear has javelins, but as long as it's more than 30 feet away, it's disadvantaged to hit. And that is less likely to hit than the breath is to take hold.
It also doesn't get the brute bonus to the ranged version of the javelin, only the melee.
Yeah, they only get brute in melee. So it's D6 plus 2 when ranged.
Well, here's the thing: I said 30 foot in and 30 foot out. Realistically, you go 15 feet in, use your cone because the 15 feet's the maximum, and then 45 feet away, making it impossible for the bugbear to catch you. It would just have to toss its javelins.
Yeah. And then you just stay out of range until, taking the dodge action until your breath recharges, and then go back in. And you could force a draw by running away if you're the dragon as well. If you start to lose, run the fuck away.
What was the HP again?
HP was 3d8, so 16 was the average.
So taking average as opposed to doing rolls, because that's silly for this hypothetical. 5 damage on average a javelin does.
Yeah, even a crit won't kill it in one.
No, even if it rolled max damage, it wouldn't kill it in one with a crit.
Yeah, a max damage crit doesn't kill it in one from the javelin. So it would if it does, if it does crit, then that's a very easy way to go. I'm running away. Meanwhile, the brass dragon can't really crit on their stuff, but what they can do is automatically crit when they put it to sleep, and their bite attack is D10 plus 2, so average of 7, so it ended up being 2D10, which is rather nasty for an automatic crit when something's asleep.
Mm-hmm. But again, for the sake of argument, we're only taking averages, so it really isn't that big of a deal for a bugbear with its 27 HP pool. But it's a moot point. I don't like you bringing up the force a draw thing. That's not on the table. That's bollocks. We'll throw it out the window. I will say, with the fact that you've got a 60-foot flying speed on the Dragonling, it makes the entire argument pointless, because as long as the dragon isn't stupid, it wins.
Yeah, and as long as they're not trapped in a cage or something.
Well, yeah, but again, that's relying heavily on if rules, and it's bullshit. But, it would be bullshit if by the way, the dragon starts in a cage. Why? Because I want my guy to win.
Yeah, it's a cage match, so I can't use all my tools.
If it was a cage match, Bugbear would win, but that's not.
Oh yeah,
that's not how this game works. I think. And it's entirely because of the flying speed and nothing else. Obviously the sleep breath helps, but even without the sleep breath, the fact it has flying and an automatic 7 damage no matter what during turns it has the brass dragonling wins by attrition.
Yeah, brass dragon wins.
Yeah, so on that bombshell, brass dragon wins. There's not much else to say really. It's just I'm gonna have to start using things with flying speed, I guess.
Or at least have a counter for it.
I mean, Javelin's not the worst, it's just it doesn't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, you had a counter, it just wasn't a perfect one.
Yeah. Well, again, you wouldn't. A Javelin's not good. You need a bow to perfectly counter thingy. The actual problem going forward is flying isn't going to be as much of a factor anymore, because almost everything from about CR3 onwards has a spell or something that's ranged.
Yeah, you got a cantrip, you've got an answer.
Pretty much, as long as that cantrip isn't Firebolt.
Yeah, well, Firebolt in this situation, you might want Firebolt and Ice Beam.
Yeah. But anyway, again, just to reconfirm, Brass Dragonling fucking wins by a country mile, all because it has wings.
Yes.
Join us again next week, where we do something not a million miles away from what this one actually is. So yeah, bye guys.
Bye everybody.